Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. We are just loading in back to, well, I'm guessing we're going to end up back in Haven, what I would assume, because we have a lot of stuff to sort out and get in line, as we have decided to ally with the mages. Everyone approved of the decision, apart from Cassandra, who just hated literally every single thing about it, but, you know, I believe in the mages. I think Fiona's a rational person. I do. I think she was put in a bad position by Alexius, who is now out of the picture, I'm assuming. So, fingers crossed, everything goes okay with them. I mean, we could have conscripted them, but you know, I see a benefit in letting them kind of operate, but you know, by themselves, as long as they don't go crazy, because not all rebel mages are bad people. Again, maybe I may regret the decision. You know, no one's going full Anders, you know,
It's
here,
not a
hopefully
matter
not
for
anyway.
debate. There will be abominations among the mages, and we must be prepared.
If we rescind the offer of an alliance, it makes the Inquisition appear incompetent at best, tyrannical at worst.
What were you thinking, turning mages loose with no oversight? The veil is torn open.
I lied to them, but no. We need their cooperation,
We
yeah.
need them to close the breach. It's not going to work if we make enemies of them.
I know we need them for the breach, but they could do as much damage as the demons themselves. You were there, Seeker. Why didn't you intervene?
While I may not completely agree with the decision, I support it. The sole point of the Herald's mission was to gain the mage's aid, and that was accomplished.
Thank you, Cassandra.
The
I'm glad
voice
that
of
you were.
pragmatism speaks. And here I was, just starting to enjoy the circular arguments.
Still hanging around Dorian, I see.
All that matters.
Yeah, the sooner the better.
The longer the breach is open, the more damage it does. We should head there as soon as possible.
Agreed.
We should look into the things you saw in this dark future. The assassination of Empress Celine. A demon army.
Sounds like something a Tevinter cult might do. Orlais falls, the Emporium rises. Chaos for everyone.
One battle at a time. It's going to take time to organize our troops and the mage recruits. Let's take this to the war room. Join us. None of this means anything without your mark, after all.
There goes my nap. I'd be honored, yeah.
Thank you. I'd be honored to help with the plan.
Meet us there when you're ready.
I'll skip
Certainly
the
will do.
council, but I would like to see this breach up close, if you don't mind.
Then you're staying.
Oh, didn't I mention? The South is so charming and rustic. I adore it to little pieces.
You want to stay? I don't want you here. We'll keep an eye on you. I'm glad you're staying. I'm glad you're staying, yeah.
There's no one I'd rather be stranded in time with, future or present.
Excellent choice. But let's not get stranded again anytime soon, yes?
I'll
Yeah,
begin
hopefully not.
preparations to march on the summit. Make her willing, the mages will be enough to grant us victory.
Well, I hope so. Okay, fab. In your heart shall burn. What a lovely
The Inquisition
name.
appreciates your assistance in this matter, Lady Corbin.
And my miners appreciate your business. You'll have your lyrium by the end of the week. I should tell you, Ambassador, the Chantry raised some fuss when they learned about our arrangement.
The Inquisition must certainly seem an audacious idea to the Grand Clerics. We hope to convince them it is a necessary one as well.
Mother Giselle got anything interesting to say
I
about
understand you were instrumental
the people?
in garnering the assistance of the rebel mages. It is well done. And I pray this Inquisition fares better than the Chantry in its handling of magic.
I hope so. We'll do our best.
We will try.
In some ways, Andraste had the simpler task. Magic should serve man, and not rule over him. That tells us what should be, but it does not tell us how to get there. So many times the methods of men have undone the spirit of their goals. Once you have sealed the breach, we shall see whether this Inquisition is truer to the Chantry, or its own namesake.
How are the people?
Can you
Yeah.
tell me how our people are doing?
What would you like to know?
People at
What are
Haven.
the villagers in Haven doing?
You did well to gain the mages to your cause. The people have hope that the breach may be sealed. Some of them are returning to the lives they fled. Others are starting fresh. In either case, they no longer believe the world as they know it is ending.
Well, that's good.
Do you have information on people elsewhere?
The refugees in the hinterlands are desperate. Without help, starvation or war will claim many lives. Villagers in Crestwood are besieged by their own dead.
So it's the
They
same
have
stuff,
said well.
really.
People are vanishing in the hills. More than that, I cannot say. It is
Okay.
a chaotic time.
Farewell.
Make a
Right. Josephine, anything to say to us?
I'll take my leave. Good day.
G'day.
Who was she, Ambassador?
A merchant. I thought we should reach out to the dwarves to secure lyrium for the Inquisition's mages. According
Decent
to
idea.
Dwarven, it raised the ire of the Chantry.
I'm not surprised.
Oh.
Access to lyrium makes us rather more formidable than anticipated. We're becoming a challenge. Sadly, the remaining Grand Clerics appear to be consolidating the Chantry's power instead of comforting the masses.
Yeah, you know what? The Chantry is a bit incompetent.
Chantry couldn't solve its own problems when it had a divine.
Yet many people continue to bear it great love. We will not benefit from its decline. Little but the Chantry ties Orlais, Nevara, Ferelden, Antiva, and even Rivain to a common cause.
Has the Chantry truly promoted such peace?
Andrasti's chant is familiar across kingdoms, a source of many shared customs. That is the crucial point. Common ground is the start of all negotiations.
I can see the importance,
I
yeah.
suppose a shared faith can be useful when talking with strangers.
Precisely. And these similar interests are merely where we begin. We must learn to think beyond our own wants, to secure peace in Thedas.
You sound too good to be true. That's an ambitious notion, yeah.
Planning to steer the history of the world, Ambassador Montillier?
I believe the Inquisition is already charting that course. Which brings me to a question, if you have a moment.
Fire
The
away.
remaining Grand Clerics sent a missive inquiring about the events at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. They demand to know whether the Inquisition officially claims that Andraste saved you from the breach. If it were up to you, how would you reply?
That's a big question. How will you?
Will my answer change your reply to the Chantry?
If Leliana, Cassandra Cullen, and I could agree on our official stance, I could answer that. We should decide soon. The revered mothers don't seem to know what to make of you.
I don't claim to be holy, yeah.
I'll tell the Chantry I was saved by circumstance, not divine intervention.
Yet as rumors your Andraste's herald grow, the Grand Clerics may not believe such a humble reply. A difficult situation, and I thank you for your answer. A good day to you.
And to you, Josephine. Right. Do I have any research stuff? I probably do, don't I?
More healing
I do.
for you, revered mother. Thank you.
Frost rags and wolf fangs. Happy days.
Good day to you.
Anything to report?
What do the people make of us?
Despite our fame, we're low on steadfast allies. We must aim for more.
How are our guests?
Any
Yes.
visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
Lady Drummond promised a visit. She has useful resources if we can get her to set aside her games.
What are her politics?
Oh, no, I meant actual games. Chess, cards, dice, little boards with carved idols from the winter. She made me play that with her for 8 hours once. Steer her towards cards, if she insists on
8
that.
hours. Wow.
What may I do for you?
Holy Mother of God.
What do the people make of us?
Despite our fame,
Yeah.
we're
What's
steadfast
our allies like?
We must aim for more.
Any thoughts on the people here?
Who did you mean?
Blackwall,
What
yeah.
do you think of Sir Blackwall?
Sir Blackwall seems as loyal to the purpose of the Inquisition as he is to the Wardens. His travels must have taken him strange places. I wish he'd speak more about them.
He's a bit mysterious, is Blackwall. Yeah, well, ask her about Dorian. I don't think I have
You must
yet.
have an opinion of Dorian.
Who hasn't? The man could cause a scene standing quietly in the center of an empty room. Still, I do believe he has your best interests at heart, for all that he delights in mocking them from time to time.
Okay.
Let's speak later.
Another time.
Right. What was I gonna do? We should probably go and have a talk to everybody else, actually, since it has been... Obviously, we have been off, you know, maging. Let's head out. Thought that was Solus then, standing there, but it's not. He's considerably further away. Any more requisitions? Still that dwarven puzzle box.
It is good to be surrounded.
Liliana?
Really?
You got anything new for me?
Your open support for the mages likely earned you enemies. Our agents will monitor the situation. If the most opposed can be identified, we may still turn this to our advantage.
No killing,
You're
yeah.
not planning assassinations, are you?
I was planning to unleash Josephine on them. She kills with kindness. Regardless,
That's the best
applaud
way.
you for the courage to stand up for the mages.
I watched you die for me, yeah.
Redcliffe, you sacrificed yourself so that I could return here.
Of course I did. One small life in exchange for a second chance at history. I always loved a bargain.
It was still noble, yeah.
It's still a sacrifice, and still noble.
And I would do it again.
Oh, thanks, Liliana.
I'll leave you to your work.
She seems a lot colder than she did in Origins, but still, she clearly does have everyone's best interests at heart, and that is the main thing. Right, let's go and have a natter with, I'm guessing Dorian's up here too, because I don't think there was a sec. Yeah, there he is, yeah. So, let's go anything new?
So we have gained the mages. Excellent. They should be able to seal the breach.
No, we hope.
I'm certain you experienced time travel. Could it have been an illusion? A trick of the Fade?
Dorian is certain,
Dorian
yeah.
was sure. Impossible as it
He
seems.
slightly disapproves.
An amazing gift. It is vital the Inquisition succeed to avoid the future you witnessed.
Absolutely. I saw you there, yeah.
Surprised you're not more interested in your own future.
I know enough. If that future happened, then I, and Cassandra, Cullen and the rest, failed to stop this Elder One. Speaking of which, you should ready yourself.
For?
This Elder One. You have now interfered with his plans twice. Once at the Temple of Sacred Ashes.
Yeah, he's probably going to be a bit mad.
A being who aspires to godhood is unlikely to ignore such an affront.
I mean, I am 99% sure that this Elder One is Corypheus. You know. There or thereabouts.
The Inquisition supports free mages. What's next? Elves running Halam-Sharal? Cows milking farmers?
You disagree?
I take it you don't agree.
On the contrary, I approve. Parts
He just thinks it's a bit unusual.
I do wonder if you've considered what this support of yours will do. For mages in general, I mean. The Inquisition is seen as an authority. You've given Southern mages license to, well, be like mages back home.
Oh, you can flirt with Dorian. Well, I'm guessing he must be, well... I mean, he seems, at the risk of being slightly offensive and a bit, you know... What's the word? Stereotypical. He seems slightly gayer than Cullen does, so I mean, I'm guessing this is actually a possible opportunity to go down, but, yeah. I'll say I doubt that,
I
yeah.
don't believe that.
It's true. The conditions here are different. Southern mages aren't used to ruling. Thing is, the Emporium was once just like the South. Templars, proper circles, all that rot. Then it changed. By inches. Not that this is reason to oppress us. Still, my homeland should be a cautionary tale, not a source of inspiration.
I agree. Tell me about yourself,
It
yeah.
occurs to me that I barely know anything about you.
Beyond my being a mage from Tevinter, you mean?
Beyond that, yes.
And beyond my being so charming and well-dressed, which is obvious to anyone.
Oh, yeah. If you say so.
You certainly think highly of yourself.
It's true. I could be more modest, but I'd be lying. Now, what was I talking about? Ah, yes, me. I am the scion of House Parvis, a product of generations of careful breeding and the repository of its hopes and dreams. Naturally, I despised it all. The lies, the scheming, the illusions of supremacy. That's Tevinter in a nutshell, isn't it? Needless to say, my family was not happy with my choices.
Your family's angry with you?
Why
Yeah.
would your family be upset with your choices?
Because I rejected their idyllic plan. If they had their way, by now I'd be married to some unlucky girl from a powerful family. We'd live in luxurious despair, despising each other as I waited to take my father's place in the magisterium. I declined the honor, and thus it's best I'm far from home. Less of an embarrassment that way, you see?
You don't like Tevinter?
I'm getting the impression that you don't care much for your homeland.
On the contrary, I care for my homeland a great deal. There's so much potential.
Just the way it's being used now
We squander it.
isn't great. I think we can all agree with that statement anyway.
Pretending is easier. We pretend the Qunari can be beaten. We pretend that we're superior to everyone, even our own people. Not everyone feels that way. I don't. Sadly, we're the minority.
It just seems so much of what you say about the Emporium is entirely negative.
It might sound that way. For all our faults, my people have many virtues. We are laden with history and culture. Tevinter is where Thedas truly began, remember? We treasure our past and preserve it. You can walk down a side street and find nothing built during the modern ages. And despite appearances, we care deeply about everything. We have no reserve, not in war and not in love. If I truly believed my homeland was beyond all hope, I wouldn't miss it so much.
Careful
What do
breeding,
you
yeah.
mean by generations of careful breeding?
The great families of Tevinter don't have children. They refine traits, weed out the undesirable, and promote the rest. My mother was chosen for my father because magic runs strongly in her blood. Never mind that they loathed each other. They wanted a son who could become Hakkon to make House Parvis the envy of the Emporium. They got me. A cautionary tale that you should be careful what you do.
Why remain with the Inquisition? Why not go back to Tevinter?
I'm not exactly welcome back home.
Oh, you're a rogue.
It matters. I'm quite accustomed to being a pariah. It adds to my charm. I can do more for Tevinter here. If the Venatori succeed, it'll set my homeland back 1,000 years. I'm sure some magisters would disagree, but that's why we kill them.
I think I've heard enough.
That's too bad. I never tire of talking about myself.
Tell about the Emporium,
I'd
yeah.
like to ask you about Tevinter.
Ah, yes. Everyone outside the Emporium always seems quite fascinated by it. Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minrathous. That's madness. All right, that one's actually true, but the cows didn't have wings. I digress. Anything in particular you wanted to know?
It seems strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
I find it strange that your mages don't rule anything at all. Actually, the fiction in the Emporium is that mages don't rule. The magisterium rules. That magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
Of course.
What is the magisterium exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of magi, the chantry, and the major families. All majors now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use Magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
If you're not a magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an Altus, which is almost as good as a Magister, depending on who you
Altus, I've never heard that term before.
I've never heard of an Altus.
No.
are. Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods. If you're a mage and you're not Altus, then you're later. Lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're Soperati. That's everyone else. We love our fancy words.
You're telling me.
I thought the Archon ruled over the Emporium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new Magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave.
Okay,
The
so
idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
so it's a situation where everyone is everyone who rules is a mage, but not all mages rule. So you can't rule without being a mage, but you can be a mage and not rule. That makes sense to me. Yeah.
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically, the potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday.
Someday.
Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
Being a quaestor isn't a good thing.
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
Let me ask you something else.
Of course.
What's next? Slavery. That's an interesting topic for Tevinter.
Mentions slavery. It's the center of the slave trade.
Ah, that is true.
And? Did you have slaves?
Not personally, but my family does and treats them well. Honestly, I never thought much about it until I came south. Back home, it's how it is. Slaves are everywhere. You don't question it. I'm not even certain many slaves do.
You're saying they like it?
You think slaves like it that way? Don't be ridiculous.
I didn't say they like it. It's all most of them know. In the south, you have alienages, slums, both human and elven. The desperate have no way out. Back home, a poor man can sell himself. As a slave, he could have a position of respect, comfort, and could even support a family. Some slaves are treated poorly, it's true. But do you honestly think inescapable poverty is better?
At least they have a choice,
At least
yeah.
they're free. They don't have slavery forced on them.
You think people choose to be poor and depressed? I doubt it. I don't know what it's like to be a slave, true. I never thought about it until I saw how different it was here. But I suspect you don't know either. Nor should you believe that every tale of Tevinter excess is the norm.
There's an Imperial Chantry, isn't there? With its own divine.
You people aren't supposed to talk about the Black Divine, are you? If you mention him outside the Imperium, people make that face, like you're urinating in public. But yes, we do have the Chantry, or a version of it. Night and day comparing it to yours.
Well, that's why it's called the Black Divine, then.
Is the Imperial Chantry so different from ours?
Not in theory. The main difference is in the whole magic is meant to serve man, not rule over him business. Back home, ruling the unwashed masses is serving them, for the good of the Imperium. Perhaps it started with good intentions, but these days it's academic. The circles are in command.
There are circles of magi in the Imperium.
Yeah, that seems
We don't
unusual.
have dismal little mage prisons, if that's what you mean. They're academies, prestigious ones. We have Templars as well, but they don't cancel spells or whatever your Templars do. They're soldiers. They watch for abuse of magic, yes, but only those who are weak or who fall out of favor get dealt with. Mostly they enforce their Magisterium's edicts. The Chantry smiles and nods from the sidelines.
Do you really call him the Black Divine?
We don't call him that, oh no. In the Imperium, he's the true divine. The woman sitting on the Sunburst throne is some backwater pretender. It all stems from a disagreement over Andraste. Marvelous, isn't it?
A disagreement, yeah.
Why would they disagree over Andraste?
It's not my field of expertise, but the Imperium believes Andraste was a mortal woman, a mage. Down south they say, no, she's the bride of the Maker, ascended to his side, divine provenance, a blah blah blah. We feel better believing Andraste was one of us. Makes executing her less damning, you see. So we elected a man as divine, the South declared war, and we've been feuding cousins ever since.
So the Imperial Divine is always a man?
All the better to distinguish him from that other one, yes. Don't think there aren't a number of female magisters who bristle at that. Why can't they be divine after all? Same reason you never see a man on the sunburst throne. Because that's how it's always been done. Excellent reasoning.
Perfect.
Do you consider yourself Andrastian?
The big question. It might surprise you that I do consider myself Andrastian. I simply do not believe in the Chantry. It is a relic, whether back home or here in the south. Something from a bygone age desperately clinging to relevance. It's not an opinion that makes me popular.
See, I disagree and I agree with him. Like the Chantry, over the course of the series of Dragon Age, like Origins, it did stand for quite a lot, I think. 2, it started going off the deep end, kind of, with a lot of sisters and clerics, etc., who just did not see the right way, in my opinion. And the Inquisition and the Chantry just seems hopeless, really. But the Chantry has its
I
place.
disagree. I don't think the Chantry is irrelevant.
Not to most, no.
I don't think it's irrelevant. It just needs to change.
I may not believe in the Chantry, but I believe in you.
In me?
That the Maker sent you, whether through Andraste or fate. Cassandra is not wrong. You are what we needed most at the moment we needed it. That's what they will say in ages to come.
I don't know, yeah.
I'm not sure about that myself.
I slightly approves.
Doubt is good. I like doubt. It will keep you sane. Me? I've seen too much to believe I know everything. The world is bigger than I am. Even bigger than you. It laughs at all the things we think we know. The Maker doesn't...
No one knows everything. There's always something you don't know.
The thought of no one at all watching out for us is too frightening.
That's fair enough.
Something else.
So many
Alright, what else has he got going on? Good to be an ally,
I'm
yeah.
wondering if the Imperium
This is a
would be
long
useful
conversation, guys, but you know, we'll like to say it towards the end before we split episodes.
They'd support the Venatori. They won't. At least, not officially. They'll disavow all knowledge of dangerous cultists. Secretly, many Magisters will rejoice at the idea. And if the South falls to chaos in the meantime, all the better.
It would be in the Imperium's best interest to help. Surely it could use allies.
I think the Imperium gave up on the idea of allies a long time ago.
Yeah, it seems
We've
that
been
way.
fighting the Qunari for what? 200 years off and on? It's a point of pride that we go it alone. They'll sneer at the South behind
Pride
us,
comes
hang
before a
and
fall,
say,
you know.
You've had it easy for far too long. Let's not forget that the Inquisition seems to be an arm of the Orlesian Chantry. Anathema so far as they're concerned.
But we're not,
We're
yeah.
not part of the Chantry. The Chantry opposed the Inquisition's formation.
You think that matters? Don't be silly. The Herald of Andraste. Your very title smacks of the Southern Chantry. You may as well be a heathen. I think they're far more frightened what you'll do if you succeed.
Just how often is blood magic used there?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
That's what any Magister would tell you. They'd be convincingly offended by the notion
Ha,
too.
but in reality...
What people call blood magic here, and what we consider blood magic, are two different things.
Oh?
What's considered actual blood magic in Tevinter?
Blood magic isn't inherently dangerous. Using your own blood or that of a willing participant, what's the harm? The problem is that what's permitted only gets you so much power. And what if you need more? You always need more. That's where we get into sacrifices and demon summoning. None of that is done. Not officially. Behind closed doors, it's a different story. Real blood magic can give you an edge, a leg up against your opponents. It's safe to assume that any mage of rank does it. The rest are quietly shut out of power, to put it bluntly.
Jesus.
You'd think the Templars would object.
I imagine they did, long ago. Once, their investigations might have been sincere. Then their balls were cut off. Too inconvenient. Nowadays, only the friendless are accused. And most of them probably innocent.
There must be some mages who oppose this.
Of course. I do. And I'm not entirely
Well done,
alone.
Dorian. I'm glad to hear that.
Occasionally, there'll be a Magister who makes noise. And then the reform talk begins. All very patriotic.
Meanwhile, that Magister will be quietly shunned. Chances are, surprise, it's learned he was a Maleficar all along. Most learn to keep quiet. Me? I enjoy the allure of pariah.
That's it.
That's all I wanted to know.
Fair enough.
Right, have you seen Alexius? Yeah,
to see
it's an
Alexius
interesting
yet?
question.
He's in the cell.
Oh, is he? Oh, I might have to go and speak to him.
I saw him before they locked him up. He looked despondent, broken. Not the man I remember, nor the one I want to. I suppose the Inquisition will judge him eventually. I wonder if there's any chance they'll show him mercy. He hardly deserves it, but for Felix's sake. I can't help hoping there's something left of the man I once knew.
A lot of codex to unlock there. Might have to look at them in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. If you have, then please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll catch you all in the next episode of Dragon Age Inquisition. Thanks again, guys. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.